Okay, here we are, day 5. Day 5 of this mountain challenge. You know, that whole thing, it's been kind of developing as I put it all together, but we're calling it the mountain challenge because we are getting there step by step, hurdle by hurdle, and we're just grinding our way to the top, not stopping. Tried a trade overnight that you can see here in a screenshot, down lower, near where VWAP formed, and just tried for along towards, like, I don't know, this imbalance around 700. I believe, yeah, was just going for the imbalance up there. That was a lot of ticks, so I actually moved it down to 200 ticks, which wasn't that far off. It was like 620. It failed right around, I'd say, 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And then finally did get up to where I wanted, so I probably should have just waited for some sort of pullback. If I'd have just looked at this fib, I would have seen exactly where the pullback should have been. Didn't do it, but here we are. Down 136 to start day 5. That's fine with me. Had a massive sell-off off of the FOMC rate decision yesterday. Huge day. I mean, look at the one day. It's the largest single day candle all year. Like this one, August 5th, that would be, I believe, a Sunday. Pretty big. Let's see. The high was 18,921, 17,873. About the same size as this one, only this one closed almost the whole move. We have, looking at the 15-minute, because you can actually see this purple shaded, I'll even brighten it for you, more dashed line. That's most of the day's sell-off. So this midpoint at 982 or so, that would be a pullback of 50% from the sell-off. Our game plan today is to sit back, wait for opportunities to show themselves. So far, we're in a very tight range. Not very tight, but we're in a range down low at the end. So it's a little lowercase b, basically, if you were to look at it on a 2-day TPO. Let's go ahead and make a range here, just so that we're staying in perspective of the market. Little range, boop. All right, so there we go. Midline's getting kissed a lot here. We're kind of breaking over and under it, as well as VWAP is that midline. So maybe not much opportunity today. Maybe we sit back and just enjoy the fruits of our labor from the last few days of hitting 500 every day. 500 came pretty quick on this one. I didn't even get to trade the majority of this. I actually traded that first bounce. Traded that tiny little move right here. This guy. This was our trade yesterday. Boop. Little itty bitty bounce. And then all that. Anyway, back to the charts for today. Just going over and under the VWAP and the midline of this range. Let's go ahead and adjust this a tiny bit. There we go. All right, so here's our range. Highlight it just a little bit more so we can focus in on that. So we did get a lot of imbalances yesterday, one of which was filled in. That guy. This one mostly filled in. I'd like to see it touch the top side over here at 800, and then if we really get going, we'll start filling in the 15-minute imbalance between 950 and 980, basically 960, 980. But right now, I think a good strategy is to not trade. So I'll come back when I think I see something worth trading. Okay, so I added a fib, and here's the box that I added it for. 0 up here, 89 down here. Essentially looking for a continuation lower. Got the extensions down here, breaking well into the 21,000s. The pullbacks from the sell-off would be pretty similar to the imbalances in a sense, negative 0.21 just inside of this first imbalance. 0.55 kind of in a little bit of a consolidation during previous sell. Negative 0.89 will be this, very close to this imbalance and the 15-minute imbalance. And then if we really start to get way up high, which would essentially be back to rallying to previous highs almost. Negative 1.44, which would be essentially the first leg into some little choppiness, the volatility of a FOMC rate decision. So got some targets to the high side, and we're still well inside this range. The 0.55 fib has been the midline of our range that we drew. We're headed right back to VWAP here. Been kind of editing up some of the other days that we've been trading so far, and been paying attention as we've been doing that. Overall, not too much. We do have a heavy stack of orders at 21,450, about 190 that I see, almost 200. Not too many orders above, kind of the reason that we've been trickling lower, so we're definitely seeing a lot of buyers want lower prices. And there could also be shorts covering down there, so it's hard to say. Here are the orders on the higher side. This is a wider range on Bookmap. If you see here, 400 has a lot of orders, 450 has a lot of orders. Do have some 21,750 orders and 800. Those are really widespread from the current level of 21,588, roughly 600. So pretty widespread stack of orders. The brackets obviously following the price, about 10 to 15 points top to bottom. Looks like we're actually currently breaking above our previous swing high. We're headed towards London high right now. Would like to see either some continuation towards the zero fib at 21,688 or a failure at London high so we can catch a short. But we did sweep just above that level right there. I'm going to go ahead and see if we can't get ourselves a trade for the day during New York session, because we did take off a little bit of profits and down red during Globex. Went to sleep on that trade, didn't record any of it, so that screenshot's all we're going to get there. I left the stop loss where it was. I think it was 50 ticks, maybe a little slippage since it's negative 136 and not 125. If you really zoom in on the day, it's actually quite a wide range. Yeah, so that is a sweep above this range. This would have been a breakout level. Next breakout level is going to be above London high up here at 637. Take a look at the 5-minute real quick. I imagine we get somewhat of a weak test soon. Okay, so we're at London high right now, 612, 614, and it is continuing to truck higher. We're going to look at this next breakout level at 637 and see if we get there. If not, I will take a short. That was a 150-point rally just now. You don't see those most days. That only took 10 minutes, 150 points in 10 minutes. Very harsh swings, holy crap. Crazy strong swings. This is a volatile day. Gonna have to be careful with what we do here. Can easily hit our daily loss limit on moves like this. Might be a lot of break even buttons pressed today. I'm at break even now. Yeah, just gonna not mess with that until I get more signal. I mean, I would actually like to see it start moving down lower before we even get into trade, because trying to guess where it's going to reverse up here is very tricky and dangerous, considering we're really close already. We're about 100 points, $100 away from daily loss limit, so that's only 40 ticks. All right, that's more of what I wanted to see. I want to see it start to fail. Might be safer with 3 lots. Yeah, see that? That would have put us out right away, that one candle. 10-point bounces either way. This is crazy. What's the 1 minute look like? Pretty strong. 5 minute, still there. Go back to the 1 minute for a second. Yeah, super strong. All right, so there's a 1 minute 9 EMA. Typically, touching that and continuing higher is a bullish signal. If we are going to look for a long, that would be a nice signal. Do want some continuation to happen after that touches. So we would be going to 637 pretty quickly. I'm going to stick to the tick chart though. All right, so this is that overlapping bunch of candles similar to every other top so far. You can see those overlapping candles form before going lower. You can say the same thing for going higher as well, but right now we're near the higher part of the range, and for me that's gonna be a short. Higher part of this range here. Let's just see that work for a second. I'm gonna put my stop 35 ticks above, maybe 40. Just see if that works. Put it at London high. Probably hit me out here in a minute. Yep. Okay, so continuation higher looks like down 200. I'm going to drop this down to just 2 micros. Crazy day like today. Got to be careful. Looks like they're headed for 750, right at the negative 0.21 pullback. But we need to see this stop chopping in this high area by London high. It's rejecting London high. It's got 2 points up here so far. Okay, let's see this not break down. Go to the low side of this range and try long. Stop will be under the breakdown level. This is officially a breakdown level now. Okay, really close to the daily loss limit. Going to be doing 1 micro now, sizing way down. Let's see this scoop liquidity. Touch this wick over here. Alright, that's the daily loss limit. From here we can either evaluate and see if we're going to make any better decisions or if we're going to call it a day. Give ourselves one more bullet. This does look like it's just going to start selling now. This is what I wanted from way up here. Orders at 550. Alright, cutting that. Let's take a look at this breakdown level and see if it rejects here. Alright, right to VWAP and a bounce. That's pretty much every pivot has been that. You can see that here, here, right here, now here. So, pattern change. Back to London high pretty quickly. Going to be watching that breakout level there, and then this one up here. Very nice trap of bears. Trapped me, and is continuing to push. Alright, so that one got stopped out too. Just going to sit back and watch and try and make better decisions here soon. Alright, so it's definitely trickled down basically to the midline of this range. Looking at the 0.55, we're below the VWAP but not above the 0.55. So let's see what happens down here. We're at the 0.55 fib now, midline of the range. You can see us break below it now, back to these levels down here, around 480 to 460. Put my stop at 40 ticks, that locks in $100 at least. Going to be looking for another repeat where it just kind of zigzags, comes back up, then comes back down, lower, breaking a new low just a little bit, but probably from right here, around 555. Alright, we're getting our break lower sooner than anticipated. Looks like it was a wick test off of this section first. Probably see that on the 5 minute. Yeah, a little wick test there. Go to the 500 tick, see just a few more candles. It's very zippy. $100 ticks in now, profit locked in. Want to see this break lower to 450 where those liquidity blocks are. 97 orders there. Probably get wicked out for putting my stop right here, but if we just keep trickling down, I'll leave it there. Alright, and we've recovered almost all of our losses so far. Headed towards lows. Honestly, this is kind of a huge swing. We put our stop at 150 ticks now. Headed close to 460, 475 right now. We're just keeping the move going. Alright, this is going to be a breakdown level if we get it. I imagine we'll actually end up at 425 here, about 372 ticks from entry. Holding this 150 tick stop loss in profit, probably get hit right here. Alright, so not a bad trade at all. As soon as we get a new green candle, I'm going to make this imbalance right here. Kind of failed this area up top, breakout level failed, breakdown level, strong move below that after a retest of this green candle here. So once we get this next green candle, we'll have an imbalance to trade off of. But overall, recovered practically all the losses and, just breaking rules and making this a lot larger than 250 daily loss limit. Can't be doing that. Fortunately, caught a decent trade that negated those losses. However, that's a rule broken and we can't be doing that. So I'm gonna have to hold myself accountable for that. I did do that and that is not okay. Trying to see why this isn't saving now. Alright, so it is not changing. That's frustrating. Doesn't seem to let me change it more than once. That trickle down overlapping candles look followed by a much stronger move seems to be the signal to look for before the market finds its new area of liquidity. Right now that's this range, right around the FOMC low with a bounce, followed by some prior lows after close, which would be crazy to see today. But for now, the breakout level, breakdown level will be here at 460, which is pretty close to where those order blocks are down there. This could be an H bottom. We could see further liquidation lower. We'll definitely be watching for these lower levels over here at the bottom of the range and the 0.89 fib, 21,433. Market is continuing here, it looks like. I'm going to take a look at this, see if we don't just scoop liquidity and come back up into range. Okay, that was a strong candle. Let's see if some sellers start closing out of positions. Right back to 475 and this 50 EMA. Put my stop right at the 50 EMA. If we start to sell down through this, this will be a good trade. Back below the breakdown level here, we need to break this low if we're going to go any lower. Didn't like the way that spiked back up, but volatility is still pretty high. Alright, so it did continue. I just got scared out of that position. Gonna be watching for a break here. Might try and take that. Oh, it kind of ran off. I'm not chasing it. Gonna be looking for... Oh, that was such a nice pivot point right off the EMA lower. So we did get a break below previous swing low here at 442. Now looking at 437.5. There's some orders there. We do have another bit of orders at 475 now, 106. Pretty much right back where that high was. So looks like not everybody got filled there. We might have some chasing occur here in a minute. Going to be looking for a speedy move in either direction. That was pretty quick, but I want to see another move back to this breakdown level. We might not get it. We might be back in momentum trending lower. It's really hard to pick a spot to get back in when the market's already made so much movement in one direction. We are at the bottom of the range here, this giant range. We just touched the 0.89 fib. Now we're starting to get into areas where on most fibs you want to be watching for that 0.89 to get struck. Most likely we'll either get a move back to the 0.55 or lower. In this case it's an inverted chart, so technically it would be higher. What we're looking for now is a spike above this 0.89, likely to this large block, to retest and continue to the 1.44 for actual continuation, or we get a movement back to the range, where anything above 475 would signal along, as long as we hold that first green candle, retest the EMA and move higher. That would fall in line with the moving back to the 0.55 action. Alright, can also make a little bit of a crown reversal type of look. Crown reversals are similar to head and shoulders like that, but crown reversals, you're going to see one big center move followed by that type of look. So be watching for this. Right to the bottom of the range. I mean, that looks pretty good so far. Really strong move, kind of choppy up top, strong move lower. Take a look at the 5 minute, see if we don't get a green candle soon. Not quite yet, but we did get a doji. Something like this. I will adjust it once we do get a green candle with a wick to kind of signal the end of the imbalance and its formation, but we can put that in place for now. There we go. Alright, so there's the imbalance. We're going to play off of that. Alright, there was a nice crown. Wasn't quite a crown. I guess you could count this section. And then maybe one more pullback here before we break higher. But we can't have this, so gotta watch for that. See if we aren't going to just bounce off of this right now. I don't really want to give up any profits, even though it's only $25. We'll set the stop at 40 ticks. See if that doesn't hold this off. Imbalance will be right at the take profit up here. Still got quite a few orders below. It looks like it did not like our trade. Could be a failure or a range. It's turning into more squarish, going sideways now. So we'll be watching that. 442 would be rough. Back to the 0.89 fib at 433. So we got to watch for these things and just maybe not slap trades like I just did there. We're continuing to wick above this 50 EMA and break back below it. So now sellers are showing strength again. Coming back in. We've got pretty high CVD, a cumulative volume delta. Alright, so now we have a really nice move up above that higher level at 475. Looks like we're just scooping liquidity and coming back lower. Let's go ahead and take that and see if it doesn't just sell right back into the lower portion of this range. Nope. Right to this level and bounced. Okay, so that was a bit of a jigsaw type of action there. Definitely broke down the second time through it. We're going to see if we can't get another move lower without actually breaking out of the 0.89 fib in this range overall. Work for another long up to this breakout level. So far, higher highs as well. If we're not noticing that, it is higher highs. So far, higher lows. If you haven't noticed that, just do this line up there. See if we break down through that. If so, I wouldn't want to see it break much lower than that. Let's see how that looks. It's another slap. It's not good practice. I do like the way this is forming an uptrend of lows. So we'll just see how this plays out here. Probably get wicked out pretty quick, 30 tick stop. Not going to be very easy to avoid. There's that. Still some pretty great progress on this account for how slow we're trying to go. Today might be one of those days where, aside from this great trade selling short, forming this imbalance, I'm just not going to catch too much. I'm also being a little impatient, I'm noticing. So today may not yield as much progress as the last couple of days. And that's okay. We can't have home runs every day. That's the whole point of this. So now that we've broken just slightly below this lower end right here, we have our first little wick right here. Let's see a move higher. Beautiful. 60 ticks almost immediately. We need to see a breakout right here. I'm going to lock in 50 ticks. Take profit's going to be right at 500. Good move so far. Get to this breakout level. Going to lock in 80 ticks. We just got to let this run. I'm going to put it at 100 now. Probably get wicked here if it doesn't blast back up. That was a good little wick there. Wick test of the prior green candle. Maybe we get a continuation, maybe not. Alright, 150 ticks. Not bad. 130. Locked in. Breakout level right now is looking strong. Alright, so we took profits. We're up now. That was a really good trade from down here around 450. The order book got really thin. We should see some other orders start to pop up above and below, like right now at 450, 455. All right, that was a stupid slap. Basically just gave up some of the profits here. I took that long based on how the candles were failing to go any lower, and we're now blasting above to 500. The break-even stop was probably not smart, but it's better than potentially losing all of that again. Okay, here's the next pivot on the broadening wedge. See if we break down below that or if we just move right back up to the breakout level. I'll take that for a few points up. Hold it there. 22 tick stop. It either holds or it doesn't. Looks like it wants it though. 525 orders popping up. I want to see if those hit. That would be at the top of the megaphone. However, we did just get stopped out. So we're basically at break even for the day, getting close to a point where I need to just slow down and not take every single trade idea I find. Alright, I didn't talk about that trade when I made it, but what I was seeing was all those wicks right here. All these wicks, I was seeing them fail, and then we got that blast that stopped me out. I'm kind of suspicious to see if we continue higher, get that little leg lower off of this, and then we had a little pullback, trying to see if we don't go to about 560 now, or if we're just going to sell right back into range. You might ask, well, if you're looking at those levels, then why aren't you long, or why haven't you taken a position and held it into those levels getting touched? It's because I basically missed most of the move at this point, and I'm just not seeing a good entry, and I'm also getting stopped out a lot, so I'm trying to avoid going on tilt, which I've already done once today by moving that personal daily loss limit to 1,000, which I still can't seem to change back to 250, but we're already down 100. I'm getting stopped out a lot, and the market's just kind of tricking me and scaring me out of good positions. I've had one good trade, one good sell. I think it was over here, and then we got another really strong buy where we were in profits over here, and ever since then I've kind of been getting cut up. One might say it's time to call it a day. Another version of me says just be patient, you'll get another good trade. So I'm going to stick to it, maybe hit stop on this record and let some more price action form and just see what we get in a few minutes, or maybe in 30 minutes or so. Honestly, we'll take this all the way to close if we have to. I don't really want to make this video too long, but today's just been one of those days. I'm going back and forth, and I'll spend some extra time and make this video out to be what it ends up being. Just go ahead and like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel and the algorithm, and I also really appreciate all of you for watching so far. I look forward to the rest of this series and more to come. Definitely for 2025, we're going to try some new things as well. I'm excited about it. Let's keep going at it. This is one full mini, 10 micros, looking for a bounce up over the EMA. Stopping that, I don't need that. Looks like it's going right to VWAP here again. This is VWAP style, pretty bold, give it that. There. Yikes. Yeah, see, just stupid action, getting chopped up, pretty rough. Alright, this should be about it for the sellers. Do have an order down at 490, roughly. 490 would take us way down here at the breakout level. Got to take profit on that. That was a good trade with a mini. After that move, it's hard to say we won't see a little bit more of a wave coming back down. Gonna wait and see what happens around this 50 EMA. Still looking for 487 to hit, basically where my take profit is at. I'm gonna kill that trade. 100 tick chart is wild, man. Move back to the 1,000, especially for micros. Good lord. Got so much room above. Market's just staying in a range after such a big sell. Alright, getting pretty close here. 490. Looking for that wick test and fail. Put 6 ticks in profit. Probably take it right here. If it doesn't sell. Yep, there you go. All right, so kind of just slapping whatever here. Need to get a grip on things, but we're good. Previous swing low, breakdown zone, coming down now, maybe retest. Still a lot of overlapping candles, so we could still see a strong leg lower, looking like these candles up here that we had right before the stop, right around 600. It's going to be risky. Risk it for the biscuit. Fail the breakdown level, come back lower. See how that looks in a couple minutes. And it didn't look at all. Really just looking for that 425 to 430 level down here. That's what we really want to see. And instead of moving my stop this time, I'm just going to leave it there. Lo and behold, that actually is the one time that it's going to come back up and get me out. I'm not sure what that was, but hopefully we don't lose it here. That was some very strong action right off that level down there, so no telling what can happen from here. That was a spike, about a 15-point spike. Typically would scare me out of a position by now, but I have to see this through. Yep. All good. Just my luck that the one time I talk about not moving my stop, it spikes immediately. It's like the market's listening. Really is. So these levels over here, right where it is now, 75 and 65, still playing a critical part in this action down here. Okay, here we are, 5 seconds until power hour. It is now 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. Last hour of the market for the day. We're pretty much right where we were when I stopped it. Not missing much here. Really hoping the market can just provide some movement before we call it for the day. Would love to not be down $600, and I would love to be green any amount of dollars at this point. We were up almost 200 something earlier and decided to keep trading. So that's on me. Breaking some rules today, that's for sure. Yeesh, backtracking here. Not what we want to do. Okay, I'm back. Had a few things I had to mute, and as you saw on this next clip, gonna be the last clip, of course, but I took a few trades, really ran up the stop loss, the daily loss limit, had to raise it to 1,500, went to 1,100, and made it all the way back to 150, and here we are again. Minus 640, really chaotic day, breaking rules. I can't say that I'm fully tapped out on mental capital, but it's not been the right kind of trading day. This is by far going to be one of the longest longest, if not the longest, video of the Mountain Challenge so far. But we're going to keep pushing. Might as well. We're already near the finish line for the day. We've got 15 minutes left in the trading session, and the market keeps providing trading opportunities. So I'm just going to keep pushing. Orders back at 400. I'm just going to take this until it fails. Getting close to the MOC here. Got about 3 minutes till MOC. I'm going to see what that looks like here in a minute. Looking for a revisit of 400. That was MOC right there. Kind of looks like it wants to make a new low here. Just barely. Might spike. Yep, definitely did spike, but what do you know? We're green on the day. Anything left is a gift. We'll see how much further it can go. Don't recommend selling the low of the day, but when it's moving like this, why not see if it goes a little further? I did say 350 would be a target. I've got my take profit at 340 right now. Take a peep at this and see if we can't catch a few more ticks. All right, that might have been the low. 376, not bad. Definitely moving up higher now. Let's see if we can't continue up from this low breakout level up here. Had a large block hit a while back. Yep, kind of gave up some profits there. Whoops. Still looking for a lower low here. All right, we're within a minute of liquidity injection, the final one, right at 3:55 Eastern. Probably see a crazy wick out of that. That's why I have my stop in place. Yeah, market's going to do some wacky things here in a second. All right, here in about 10 seconds, you'll see. Go to the 100 tick, show you exactly how crazy it can look. And there it is. Doesn't even show up on the 100 tick, but let's go back to the 500 tick. Yeah, so you get a really strong push higher. Market's just going to go all over the place here. You can see on Bookmap how thin it got. There's hardly any orders in there. That is MOC liquidity injection. Those are all the orders getting filled or getting ready to be filled. And take a look at what that was. Yeah, I'll post that right here for you. A little screenshot of what we had. Looks like we had S&P negative sell side 1.9 billion, NASDAQ sell side 1.7 billion, Dow sell side 740 million, Mag 7 sell side 980 million. Quite a bit of sell side action to be had in the coming minutes. So that explains a lot of that selling that we just had. Everybody getting their orders in. Had to sell, heavy sell there. So market's pretty much concluded now. I'm just going to see the final crazy candles for the last 4 minutes before close. And I'm back on a 1,000 tick here. Very overlapping candle action. Probably we'll see a move back into value area. Yeah, value area is going to be 500 down to 450. We're currently at 400, 408 level. If it doesn't close inside of value area, that's pretty bearish. Would want to see some more movement lower towards the 200s down here. Got rid of that block, and then this breakdown level can change. Should be here now. Market's going to get pretty wicky, especially on MNQ here, so I'm just going to be careful. Honestly, after a day like today, minus 42 is a win. It's like quite a battle at 380. Getting close. 10 seconds until close here. Alright, that is closed. We are now 3 p.m. Market has closed. Just watching this kind of trickle lower now. Doing pretty good though. Can we get to 335? Got to the breakdown level here. I'm going to take profit. I'm going to call it a day. We're green 134. Insane P&L fluctuations and terrible rule management, being that I raised that daily loss limit so many times. Started at 250, went to 500, went to 1,000, went to 1,500. Highest red P&L was over 1,100, and I don't know if we've even gotten above 134. We probably have at some point in the video, but it's just been a day. So I'm going to take a little bit of time to get all this together, and I hope you enjoy the long duration of it. And I hope you enjoy this content and this mountain challenge thus far, really displaying the full spectrum of emotions in terms of mental capital being spent trading and over trading at that. Had over 60 trades today to come out on top with $134. Average trades around the rest of the days were anywhere between 5 and 20. 60 trades in one day. I apologize in advance for not posting all of them, but I will give you a full view of every execution. Here is what 60 trades looks like versus the prior day, where I only did like 5, I think I saw. No, more like 10 or something. Yeah, just one over or in the Globex, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, no, hardly any trades yesterday versus today's crazy chart. Yeah, way too many trades. Really put myself in a hole. Dug myself out of it, but highly recommend following your rules. And if liquidating at your initial personal daily loss limit is what you need to do, liquidate and block. Just have it stop you, because you can, as you saw what I did today, you can really go down a rabbit hole. Keep raising your loss limit, taking away all your profits from the prior few days and sizing up. I did go to a full mini. I think that's where it started to really snowball. Went back down to 5 micros, caught that one trade for 103 points almost. It was like 97 points, 503 to 406. That one got me back in, and then from there, it was just being on the right side of the market, which I was not a lot of the time today. So a lot of slaps, a lot of just guessing and not really waiting for the setup to form completely or actually invalidate any setup at all. Instead, I was just scalping and blindly trading. So this is one for the books, but we are going to have to call this one a conclusion. I'll see you on the next one. This is Bullish Bear, 23 Capital Trades. Peace out.